Welcome to the Prophecy Club. As I have been saying, I think that we are very close to the fall of America. As you recall, Dimitri said the fall of America will start with an internal revolution in America started by the communists. Some of the people will start fighting against the government. The government would be busy with internal problems. Then from the oceans, Russia, Cuba, Nicaragua, Central America, Mexico, and 2 other countries will attack and defeat America in one day, in 1 hour. America will burn. Now, it seems that 2 of my 3 sources that say that there was a coup d'etat on 6/6/2020 have lost credibility. One recants, says it didn't happen. The other one is not credible. I still think it happened because of how our nation has continued to fall, and also I believe I felt the anointing talking about it. So now what? Do I continue to say that the internal revolution has started on 6/6/2020? Well, one brother is filing a Freedom of Information Act requesting information, and I'm asking all of our listeners out there to continue to search for proof that, in fact, the White House was attacked on 6/6/2020. If it didn't happen, I'm happy. That's a good thing. But if it did happen, brothers and sisters, we need to warn the world. Next headline, Army protesters take over Atlanta Wendy's parking lot where Rayshard Brooks was killed, reports say. This comes to us from Fox News. Armed protesters stood guard on Tuesday at an Atlanta area Wendy's, the site where Rayshard Brooks, a black man, shot twice in the back by an Atlanta police officer, died earlier this month. Earlier in the day, a group of people had, quote, taken over the burned-out property in South Atlanta, according to local reports. People living in the area also have complained about the protesters who remained were no longer peaceful. Well, duh. For really? Sure, okay. But instead, they're using the space for their own gain, at times blocking people in the street from getting by. They claimed that the Atlanta police weren't doing much to solve the problem, making life for those living in the neighborhood a living nightmare. Quote, my husband literally just missed getting caught in crossfire, as in guns firing, okay, went on home his way. He says some people have been shot and hurt. A mile from the Wendy's where Brooks was shot, and said it's been physically difficult to get to our neighborhood ever since the group took over the parking lot and began wreaking havoc. She added that her mother tried to get into her house, but people would put up a crude roadblock, stopping her. A demonstrator also attacked a police officer after a man claimed a mob of people stopped their car and attacked them as they tried to drive past the Wendy's. And of course, this is all just kind of a summarize, but the point is that our nation is falling apart. Some of the people are starting to fight against our government. We are in the midst of America falling. Next headline. This comes to us from Fox News, 6/23/2020, in the Tucker Carlson Show. Headline says the real reason mobs across the country are tearing down American monuments. He says on Monday, a mob attempted to knock down a statue of Andrew Jackson. They spray painted the base, trying to knock the statue down. In large letters, you can see the word killer at the bottom. Amazing. He says this is happening all over the country, as you know, and there's lots of reasons for it. Over the weekend, most recently, doubtless you've heard this, that city officials announced their plan to remove the statue of Teddy Roosevelt from outside of New York's Museum of Natural History. The bronze statue has stood there since before the Second World War. Soon it will be gone. People who erected the statue 80 years ago would be confused by this, no doubt. They do not consider Teddy Roosevelt a controversial figure. In fact, Roosevelt was one of the most popular presidents in American history. He was also the most American president. No other country could have produced Teddy Roosevelt. Roosevelt's virtues mirrored the values of America. Physically brave, profoundly literate, highly self-disciplined, amazingly energetic, and the list goes on. He was the youngest president in our history. He saved our economy from corporate monopolies and many other good things, which I'm going to skip here. The list of his achievements fills our entire shelves of biographies. Those are in addition to the more than 40 books he wrote himself. But they're pulling down the monuments. Now, what's it really all about? I just want to reach through the TV and say, Tucker Carlson, you don't understand. This is not just about blacks being angry. It's not just about justice. This is God pulling down our nation. Look, how do you get so many police incidents where they're shooting people? And we've all had them happen over the last few years. If you ask me, I don't think that this is necessarily even a setup. Yes, I do think that evil people in high places are certainly contributing to it. But I think that is the hand of God bringing down this nation. Why? Well, just like Revelation 18 says, I saw another angel come down from heaven, having great power, and the earth was lightened with his glory. And he cried mightily with a strong voice, saying, Babylon the Great is fallen, and has become the habitation of devils, the hold of every foul spirit, and the cage of every unclean and hateful bird. I remember reading those words years ago, back when I heard Dimitri's message back in 1988, and I thought, how is America ever going to have an internal revolution? How can we possibly fall to where we're the habitation of devils, the hold of every foul spirit, and the cage of every unclean and hateful bird? But today, it's not just a theory anymore. It's not just in our streets. It's in our news. And this next article is about to say it's about to be in our neighborhood. June 23, headline, BLM leader and Bernie supporter calls for destruction of churches. I'll read it again. BLM leader and Bernie supporter calls for destruction of churches, statues of Jesus. That's right. Goes on to say Shaun King, a major figure in the Black Lives Matter movement, is calling for the destruction of churches and statues of Jesus Christ across America. I know. You want to read that again? Yeah, I'll read it again, because it's like you want to blink and you want to shake your head and say, what? Shaun King, a major figure in the Black Lives Matter movement, is calling for the destruction of churches and statues of Jesus Christ across America. Quote, yes, I think the statues of the white European they claim as Jesus should also come down, he tweeted. There are a form of white supremacy, always have been. Tear them down, he insisted. In another Twitter post, King called on his fellow Black Lives Matter activists to destroy churches. All murals and stained glass windows of white Jesus and his European mother and their white friends should also come down, he demanded. They are a gross form of white supremacy. This comes to us from Political Insider. He goes on to say, created as tools of oppression, racist propaganda, they should all come down. As Fox News reports, numerous cultures across the world depict Jesus in ways that resemble their own communities. It does get worse. Here's another one. ActivistMommy.com, headline, Black Lives Matter founder said, quote, we are trained Marxists. This article comes out June 20th, 2020 from ActivistMommy.com. Elizabeth Johnston, an activist mommy, has been one of the few voices out there who have been bold enough to call the organization Black Lives Matter out for their radical, far-left Marxist views. She's highlighted some of these concerns in the following post. The organization Black Lives Matter has been quite forthcoming about their ideology, as illustrated in a recently unearthed video in which co-founder Patrisse Cullors, spelling Cullors, in case I'm mispronouncing it, bluntly said they are trained Marxists. Matter of fact, here, I'll just let you hear her saying it.
And Alicia in particular are trained organizers. We are trained Marxists. We are trained Marxists. We are trained Marxists.
In another interview, she says that our goal is to get Trump out. This is not a movement dedicated simply to promoting the value of Black lives, the article says. As National File recently reported, Black Lives Matter is bankrolled heavily by George Soros and Clinton-linked foundations. So are we really close to all of these prophecies coming to pass? Well, you remember that Leslie was told June 22 of 2006, 7 headlines would be, not necessarily in the order that they will be fulfilled. Israel refuses help to America. Catastrophe hits America. Omer ushers in Palestinian state, one of America's greatest times of need. Israel has attacked America, sends troops. Chaos reigns as Americans protest help to Israel. Then she heard my voice, quoting Dimitri, it will start with an internal revolution. Now, the reason that's kind of important is because this next article from ifipray.com says, urgent update, beginning June 23, President Trump's team of senior advisors will be meeting in the White House for 3 days of meetings to discuss the United States' position on Israel. These meetings could result in a reversal of the U.S. position toward supporting God's covenant land. We must pray that the U.S. would not only support, here it is, a single-state solution, an undivided Israel. The insidious wave of evil constantly sweeping across this nation will only cease when our public position changes. The entire nation is being impacted by our nation's position on the apple of God's eye, Israel. We are being disciplined. My fear is that God's judgment could come unless our leaders change their minds. Now, if Trump gets his deal of the century, hate to say, it is dividing Israel. And as you know, I've talked about this a lot of times, February 14th, Prophet Ephraim Rodriguez was shown a vision that a large meteor hit near Mona Island just west of Puerto Rico, causing a tsunami 1,000 foot high at Puerto Rico, but will be from 200 to 400 foot high as it goes inland to the east coast of America, anywhere from 20 to 100 miles inland. But where it hits is an earthquake fault running up the Mississippi River Valley to the Great Lakes, splitting America from the Great Lakes all the way down to the Gulf of Mexico, and much of the West Coast from California to Alaska falling into the ocean. All of this is in numerous prophecies we've covered. So this guy coming in, I thought, well, let's see if anybody else has seen any kind of a meteor hitting near Puerto Rico. Well, unfortunately, I found so much, I actually made a DVD on it called Meteor, the Destruction of America, which, by the way, the DVD from Ephraim Rodriguez is called Catastrophe, Meteor, Tsunami, and Earthquake. But anyway, so what I found is that 6 people saw a large meteor hit near Puerto Rico. 4 people saw the tsunami hit the east coast of the United States. I found 6 people that saw America split into pieces, and 3 people saw large chunks of California fall into the ocean. But the count is now up to 12 people that saw that America is split because we split Israel. And I read an earlier article that says that they're having a vote in Israel on July the 1st where they're possibly going to be annexing some more land, which means that could be that God will decide that that is America splitting Israel. So all of a sudden, we have a lot of the prophecies that we've been talking about in this program for a lot of years now all of a sudden about to come to pass. So, I mean, it is right at the door, my brothers and sisters. Headline, exclusive, we caught him. Trump hits FBI leaders on dossier hoax. This came out June 22 from the Washington Times. It has been 2 months since Washington learned that the Kremlin fed anti-Trump disinformation into the infamous dossier, and there had been no reaction from the president. It was an attempted overthrow of the government of the United States of America and duly elected president, Mr. Trump said, and we caught him. To declassify a series of censored footnotes in a report on an FBI wiretap abuse by Justice Department Inspector General Michael Horowitz. Unredacted, the footnotes added that some of those allegations derive from Kremlin disinformation designed to damage candidate Trump and his presidency, yet the Bureau continued to rely on the document and even used it as evidence to persuade judges to approve intrusive wiretaps. It's ironic that the Russian collusion narrative was fatally flawed because of Russian disinformation. These footnotes confirm that there was a direct Russian disinformation campaign in 2016 and that there were ties between Russian intelligence and a presidential campaign. The Clinton campaign, not Trump's. Mr. Grassley and Mr. Johnson said in a statement, they've been caught. Now it's a question of what they're going to do about it. They've been caught. John Durham has a great reputation. We haven't seen anything yet. We'll see what happens. but they have been caught. Personally, I think the information that they have now, without getting any new information, which I understand they are getting, it's so serious, it's incredible. And the man sitting in this seat, talking about Obama, and this is Trump talking here, talking about Obama, knew everything, meaning Obama knew everything. And Comey, a dirty cop, and McCabe and that whole group, they're all dirty cops. Now we'll see what's going to happen. We already have the information. Sure, it might even get better, but we have information. Now we have to see what happens. They should do what's right. Think of it. It was an attempted overthrow of the government of the United States of America. Okay, hold on right there. Let's just stop. What did Dmitry get told? The fall of America would start with an internal revolution. Do you call an attempted overthrow of the government of the United States an internal revolution? Well, apparently there's been several occasions where they have tried to overthrow a duly elected president. Do we call those internal revolutions just because they weren't successful? Do we have to wait until there is a successful internal revolution where they successfully overthrow Trump before we prophecy students say, wait a minute, and let's point to it and say, yeah, that was it. I think that there's something in all of us that doesn't want to believe this. I don't want to believe it. I sit there and I watch Dmitry Duduman tell it, I don't know, probably some 40 or 50 times in various churches and radio and TV stations. I saw him stand up there and say, the angel said the fall of America will start with an internal revolution. In addition, I know my wife has given over 5,000 prophecies, and as her husband, I do not know of a one she's missed. And yet, April 15th of 2002, the Lord told her that Arafat would go into the hospital and die there. And if that weren't enough, it was fulfilled 11/11/04 at 3:30 a.m. About 2 years after that, he went into the hospital and died there just like she was told. So that's confirmed. But the rest of the prophecy was that Israel will give the Palestinians a state. Now, that was back in 2002. And they've been trying to get a Palestinian state since then, actually before then. But here we are, it still hadn't happened. But now all of a sudden, it appears that it may be very, very close. Israel will give the Palestinians a state. The Palestinian state would be a temporary measure to allow the Israelis time to strengthen their military. Then oil will be discovered in Israel. The oil will make the Jews willing to fight for their land. Then Israel and America will go against most of the rest of the Arab world. That's World War III. And of course, America is defeated in World War III, and Israel emerges the great victor. I believe she'll get back all of her land from the Nile all the way over to the Euphrates, probably including most, if not all, of Saudi Arabia. In other words, she's going to be the place on the planet to live. So my point today is I think that we are at the door for the internal revolution in America starting. Some of the people start fighting against the government. We're seeing all of this. And if we get proof that there was some kind of an internal revolution on 6/6/2020, if we can come up with further evidence that that really happened, oh, brothers. Well, again, I don't want to see this happen. I want to see America repent. I want to see a lot of people turn to the Lord. But unfortunately, that's probably not going to happen until the judgment hits. Just like I was told, August the 8th of 2015, this is the time of miracles. And then he downloaded in my heart, as the judgment hits, so will my miracles. Miracles like no one has seen going back to Adam and Eve. No one has seen what's the power of God that's about to hit. Just like Jeremiah 16:19-21 says, O Lord, my strength and my refuge in the day of affliction. That's a date stamp talking about the tribulation. The Gentiles shall come unto thee from the ends of the earth, and shall say, Surely our fathers have inherited lies, vanity, and things wherein there is no profit, and have made unto themselves gods that are not gods. Therefore, this once I will cause them to know. I will cause them to know my hand and my might, and they shall know that my name is Jehovah. Now I got a question. So we got Crusade A, we got Crusade B. What are you going to do if you miss that crusade, and all of a sudden I come on the air and I start saying, sevenfold miracles are hitting the sevenfold miracle crusade? Well, duh, that is what we are expecting. What are you going to do when all of a sudden you're not there, sevenfold miracles have started, like we've never seen going back to Adam. We don't even know what they could possibly be. No one has seen them. But do you think that there's been enough judgment with all the burning and the looting? Do you think that there's been enough judgment for those sevenfold miracles to show up at a crusade where it's a bunch of prophecy students that have believed and heard Dimitri's message, fasted 3 days, all got water baptized, spirit baptized, going through a school of the prophets and learning more about how to teach prophecy? Do you think that there's a chance the sevenfold miracles could show up? I certainly do. Do you really want to miss that? Okay, let me go through a little bit more of the exact things we're going to be doing at the crusade. First of all, there's 2 crusades. My understanding is the Crusade A, July 29 to August 2, is full. There are still available spots August 2 to 6. You go to sevenfoldmiraclecrusades.com to register. Still available August 2 to 6, sevenfoldmiraclecrusades.com. So we ask everyone to fast 3 consecutive days, not required, but most people do. So that's the first thing. Try to imagine being in a room of prophecy students that have just fasted 3 days, that understand about the fall of America, the sevenfold miracles coming, and that they need to teach Bible prophecy. That is already powerful. We suggest you stay at the Hyatt, not another hotel, and also get the meal package. Some of the things you're going to get there, I'm going through a quick list. You're going to be able to get a personal prophecy from Prophet Andre Bronkhorst. You're going to get to go to a welcome dinner where I'm going to be talking about the pre-trib rapture afterwards. Then Leslie, the next day, is going to teach on School of the Prophets, Baptism in the Holy Spirit, and she's going to be anointing people with honor oil and various prayer positions. That same day, Pastor Lou and Prophet Sunhee are going to be talking on corporate deliverance. And if you've ever had anything bad happen to you, trust me, we have. We all need to go through that. Leslie is also going to be teaching on School of the Prophets, Fruits of the Spirit, that day. Then the next day, this is the second full day, Leslie's going to be teaching School of the Prophets, Gifts of the Spirit, More Activation Deliverance Training, and Prophecy and Healing, School of the Prophets. The next day, I'm going to be talking on Secret Door to Understand Prophecies and the Charts, 2 different talks. That's where I teach you how to understand Bible prophecy. And then the final talk, I will be talking on Miss the Mark, and we're going to be giving out diplomas and certificates for graduation. So you do want to go. You go to sevenfoldmiraclecrusades.com, get signed up for the crusade, and stay at the Hyatt and get the meal package. sevenfoldmiraclecrusades.com. So try to imagine you're in a room of prophecy students, fasted 3 days, everyone got filled with the Spirit and water baptized, gone through 3 days of School of the Prophets, 2 days of prophetic training, 2 days of me teaching you how to teach Bible prophecy. All in a very, very powerful format you do not want to miss. Go to sevenfoldmiraclecrusades.com before Hyatt raises the prices on the room rent. sevenfoldmiraclecrusades.com. In 2017, I memorized the book of Revelation just as a simple project. Surprisingly, I began to receive information on 30 revelations and 2 visions beyond what is found in the Bible. God showed me a secret door, which is based upon a single word found in Revelation and Leviticus, linking the feasts to the prophecies. When linked, a person enters into an understanding of Bible prophecy not previously known. Even though I've been in the world of Bible prophecy for 40 years, frankly, I did not know anything of what is in this book. One prophetic word described it this way: there is a lock that I have put over a word in the book of Revelation that I'm going to open to you. It will turn so many books written on the end-time message into obsolete books. That's this book. Topics are: Jesus returns on what feast? The secret of the feasts. Who are the 2 witnesses? What is the morning star? The judgment seat explained. The great white throne explained. The nations explained. What is the shout? And the parables explained. Seals, trumpets, and vials go in what order? 2 amazing prophecy charts on the back flap, 12 inches by 9 inches. Imagine a book on prophecy that brings a fresh, new, accurate perspective. I don't want you to get 1 book for $20. I want you to get 5 books for $30 or 10 for $55. It's called The Secret Door to Understand Bible Prophecy, available at prophecyclub.com. The Secret Door to Understand Bible Prophecy. 1 for $20. No, don't do that. You want to get 5 for $30 or the best deal, 10 for $55. prophecyclub.com. What would you do if you had to tell a person the most important information in the world, but you knew they wouldn't believe you? Would you tell them? Well, most would. So what is the most important information in the world to all people, nations, and languages? The most important thing to do is to receive Jesus, but the most important thing not to do is don't take the mark of the beast, because those taking the mark of the beast do not get soul death, but are eternally tormented in hell. Revelation 14:11 says, "The smoke of their torment ascendeth up forever and ever, and they have no rest day or night who worship the beast in his image, or whosoever receiveth the mark of his name." But how do you tell them? Give them the book, Miss the Mark. If they'll read this simple, thin, easy-to-read book, they will never take the mark of the beast. 1 for $20, but don't do that. We offer them in shrink-wrap sets of 10 to give away. 1 set of 10 for $30, 2 sets $45, 4 sets $70 at prophecyclub.com. Miss the Mark at prophecyclub.com. Miss the Mark at prophecyclub.com. As you know, I make many broadcasts referring to a list of dreams, visions, audible voices I believe are from God, given to Dimitri Duduman, Michael Boldea, Leslie Johnson, Henry Groover, Shane Warren, Terry Bennett, Maurice Sklar, Augusto Perez, Doug Metzger, Bree Keaton, and more. Now you can have your very own copy. It's called God's Warnings to America. 1 for $20, 5 for $30, 10 for $55 at prophecyclub.com. God's Warnings to America at prophecyclub.com. Emergency food is almost sold out everywhere. However, because of our relationship with heavensharvest.com, they have made an entire truckload available to Prophecy Club in a few weeks, where others are totally out or waiting for months. They have all sorts of emergency supplies and food at heavensharvest.com. Their food comes in square stackable buckets, breakfast, entree, protein, fruits and vegetables. heavensharvest.com makes it easy to order. I recommend you have at least 12 months of food for each person in your family. Receive a free box of heirloom seeds when you enter the promo code STAN. That's heavensharvest.com, promo code STAN. heavensharvest.com, promo code STAN. When a nuclear device is detonated, the wind blows the dust settling on everything around you. Then you breathe, eat, or absorb radioactive iodine, which then kills your thyroid and kills you. A simple fix is to immediately take potassium iodate pills, which flood your thyroid with good iodine, keeping the radioactive iodine out. You need 1 bottle per person per exposure for everyone from infant to adult. 10 bottles available for a gift of $225 or $25 per bottle at prophecyclub.com. Shelf life from 5 to 8 years, potentially more if you refrigerate or freeze it. That's prophecyclub.com, potassium iodate pills. CornerstoneAssetMetals.com is owned by a prophecy student who reads his King James Bible and supports Prophecy Club. Call CornerstoneAssetMetals.com for gold, silver, palladium, rhodium bars, or coins. They can help you roll over your IRA, 401k, so tell CornerstoneAssetMetals.com Prophecy Club sent you. You can now watch 160 Prophecy Club recordings without interruption. The introductory rate, $20, recurring monthly subscription. A 1-year subscription is a gift of $200. You get the first 3 days free just to check it out. Watch prophecyclub.com. I want you to come to the Sevenfold Miracle Crusade because I want to see you rise several levels higher with God. I want you to become a soul winner, prophecy teacher, and miracle worker in the tribulation, which is soon to arrive. Leslie and I will lay hands on you, anoint you with oil for you to receive a higher anointing in God as others have. Leslie will teach you her school of the prophets to help you develop more spiritually. I will teach you how to become a prophecy teacher, giving accurate interpretations of Bible prophecy. Go to sevenfoldmiraclecrusades.com and register before the room rate increases. And if you'll stay at the Hyatt and get the meal package, you'll help Prophecy Club organize the crusade. sevenfoldmiraclecrusades.com. Crusade A from July 29 to August 2 is full, but we still have room August 2 to 6. Now you're running out of time, so go to sevenfoldmiraclecrusades.com and get registered.